Hey there, welcome back to Wake Up and Smell the Coffee. Are you guys figuring it out yet? Like, subscribe, and share this with your buddies, your family members. Check out my other videos. I'm trying to give you guys a lot of pieces of the puzzle, telling you the same things so that you can figure out what's going on in this world around you and help you to understand what's going to happen and what we can do about things. And you are a major piece of this puzzle, believe me. So welcome back again, everybody, guys and girls. Check out my last video. I gave you guys a lot of other good people to watch and learn from. And so I want to get a little bit more direct into the things that I really enjoy and start trying to head you guys in the direction that I'm believing in, okay? So look, I just implore you, everybody out there, I got to keep an eye on my dog too. I don't want to get off the leash somehow. What's up, Zills? So you got Zilla over there. She's been chilling all morning with me, enjoying the sun and nature. I want to implore you guys and girls to start understanding and thinking at a high level, because they're trying to stop you having the correct thoughts, having the correct knowledge, and going about your day the correct way. They've got us trapped in this mirage where we're just going about our day talking about such blasé and mundane things like how we finance our next thing we're gonna purchase, how we're gonna manage to pay for all the stuff that we have purchased. And we're living in this absolutely nonsensical world. And we're literally like rats on a wheel, continuing this cycle, this life. And, breeding. We're breeding, but we're completely disconnected from what we should be connected to. So look, start piecing it together. I've been saying a lot in my last couple videos that plane going overhead if you hear it. I'm by a big airport. Can you guess where I am? Let me see in the comments where you think I am. My last couple videos, I was mentioning how, in reality, if you think about what you are, who you are, your thoughts, your mind, it's not even really your physical body, right? I mean, whatever that is, that place where you form your ideas and you get your notions of what you're going to say and do next. It's almost like that place, that mind interfaces with your body, right? So wake up and smell the coffee. This is a much more spiritual world and life than you've been led to believe. We're living in a really magical realm, a really magical world. And you got to start thinking outside of the box if you're going to get the correct answers. We've been totally deceived to think that this is all there is. And just think about what I've been showing in my other videos. Please go and check them out. How was this universe created? They say that it's just random chaos creating all of these planets and this universe out there. They've got no evidence that there's even a space outside of Earth and the sky that we see. There's zero evidence. So start doing research. Start trying to understand for yourself what's happening. And you start to see that it's very magical what's going on. How's your body even functioning and you're not even controlling any of it? It's just happening. Right? What a gift. What a gift. So look, this is what fascinates me and drives me every day. If I had to go to work doing my regular job and I thought this was it, I'd go insane. So look, I'm telling you that this is not it. This life that we're all leading, our life is actually the exact opposite of this. So I've been uncovering for years what I want to discover to be truth. And it's an amazing journey. That's why we're here. I want to build this community. This is an amazing journey and it's so fascinating and interesting. So let me hop back again to that real meat of the matter, that subject that life is spiritual, okay? It comes from another place. The greatest book of our time, the Bible, it always states in there. What is that? Is it Ephesians 6? We wrestle not with flesh and blood, okay? But you're wrestling with rulers and dark forces from a spiritual place in other kingdoms, right? And you have to get the grips with that. You got to be able to come to terms with that. That's what we're facing in this reality every day, is that we're made to believe that we're not that important, that we're not special. We're just a little speck of dust in this universe, but it's not true. You are in actual fact, yes, you are in actual fact a very core piece of the puzzle, because what's playing out around me and you is actually all about you. All right? Comment if you know where I'm going with this. It's all about me too. This whole story playing out is about you and everyone else here and me. So what decisions are you going to make? It's really important. So I'm going to tell you a story now quickly. This was an absolutely unbelievable story that I listened to. It might have been on Coast to Coast many years ago. And the person that was telling this story wrote a book about it, okay? This is matter of fact. There's so many people, millions of people with these types of stories. Do you think that everyone's lying? Granted, maybe 5%, 10% are making up stories, just trying to get notoriety and fame. But I'm telling you, this is not BS. No, not everyone's lying. You got to start understanding that everything is true around you. They throw it in our faces in movies, books. And look, they even teach these things in school curriculums. Teachers spend time in their day to go through these things, teaching our kids. So it's not make-believe. They wouldn't do it. They talk about mythology, right? Gods, demigods, hybrid gods, people with powers, giants. Okay, this is all throughout our society in entertainment. Our actors are portraying them for us. Our teachers are teaching us about this. Come in the shade, Zilla. Come, Zilla. Zilla, come. Come, Zilla. Come. Let's get in the shade. Okay? There's a reason why they do this. Not because it wasn't true. As you start thinking about it, humans work like this. We don't just really create things. We're receivers. We receive information. From where? Let's start digging and find that out. So if we have these myths in our society, in our world, okay, they happened. That's why they're here and we talk about it. They happened. Or we were downloaded these as gifts from the Almighty Father or from his adversary, right? But these things are real. There's nothing new under the sun. That's another famous part of the scriptures in a verse in the Bible. There's nothing new under the sun. Everything that's happening now has been happening since the beginning of time. And I'm talking about going right back to biblical start of time for me and you, which would be Adam and Eve. So, starting to lose track, right? Rambling, but I'll get there. I love rambling. It gets you what needs to be said. So, I'm going to tell you a story that really concrete. It's a massive piece of evidence. You got to use these pieces of evidence so that you can form the basis of good thought. Now, this person that ended up writing a book about this, he was a priest or a pastor in a big church, and what he used to do was he would have a phone-in session where, I don't know if it was on radio or some kind of forum, but people could call in, he would receive calls, or one of his team would receive calls, and they would give prayer, advice, try and give solutions to people's problems. And so what happened was they started getting an alarming call from what seemed to be a young girl. They were figuring after the conversations, maybe 10, 11, 12 years old. And she was terrified, saying that she was in danger, that she had been kidnapped, that she was going to be used in ritual and murdered. And so it was a really of serious nature. And they were besides themselves trying to figure out who this person was and how to help them. And as this played out, because she would call in maybe every other day, it played out that they tried to get her onto the church premises. And one or two times they received calls saying that she was on premise. And they were even, I don't know if they were using the police or what, but they were like tracing calls. Anyway, lo and behold, because the story is a lot deeper than this and really going into the spirit world, but I'm trying to make it a little more concise for you. So anyway, lo and behold, they had this person, and at one time the priest had been running around the church property. It was a really large property with multiple buildings on a massive plot of land. So he got the call saying, oh, she's now in the office. And so he ran back into the office where that call center was, where they had been receiving calls. And I think it was him and one other person. And it turned out that it wasn't a 12-year-old girl. It was a female, but she was like, let's say 28, 29, 30 years old. And so they started talking to her about what's happening. And it was clear that she would sometimes manifest a young person's personality and tell that story. And eventually, as they were praying for this person and trying to find out the correct information and bring resolution for her and bring help to her, it became abundantly clear that this lady was under some type of possession. She was demonic in nature, eyes rolling back in her head, looking terrifying. All of those things you see in movies and hear stories about, she was doing all of that. She would be, flopping around on the floor, scaring them, talking in foreign languages, and even having, as I'm recalling now a little more, even having voices, the sound, the nature of her voice, that obviously wasn't a female. It was a deep, demonic, horrible sounding voice at some times. So they were really concerned. This pastor or priest didn't have much experience with this. So obviously they were calling people, and one of his team members was a lady, and she said, hey, I do have experience with deliverance and seeing people that have been demonically possessed. And so he said, yeah, if you can please get over here. And so she did. So this lady got over to where they were at. So now there was going to be 3 people in the room. Okay? Now you got to remember that this young lady that was possessed had no knowledge of who these people were, had never met any of them. And when that new person, that female that the pastor had called, who had experience with the demonic realm and deliverance, she had experience being around possessed people. When she arrived and came into the room, this is what happened. The young lady that was in trouble, that they had found, who was possessed, manifested again the demonic forces. And that horrible, scary, evil-sounding voice took charge and spoke. And as soon as that new lady walked in, it said, "Welcome," and said her name, and said, "Where have you been?" Whatever her name was, said her name again, and said, We've missed you. Where have you been? I'm so glad that you're back again." And it knew her. Can you believe that? And as you start to unfold and pack the story, you understand that the story was that lady that joined the team, who had been called and requested to come and help with possession, when she was younger, in her teenage years, early 20s, had been involved in witchcraft, black magic, and had relationships with the dark spirit world. And she thought that that was beyond her. She had been saved again. She had embraced God, Christ, and was following scripture and a righteous path. But those spirits and that demon or demons didn't forget her, and they knew exactly who she was. And it told her and everyone else in the room who she was. And I'm going to finish the story there, but I'm just going to let you know that as the story unfolds, that demon-possessed woman knew a lot of things about all of those people, and she would tell them. And it was all stuff that this person would not know. They've never met. They've never known each other in the slightest. Okay? Use this. Just remember what I'm saying to you. Use this as pieces of the puzzle. That spirit realm is real, and it bleeds into this reality that we think is the be-all and end-all, this physical reality, constantly, because it's constantly here. We're living in a spirit realm that we've been deceived to believe is nothing more than this physical BS. And once you get this into your mind and understand it, you can start forming the correct thoughts, start getting the correct pieces of evidence to piece together and start giving you the story and understanding. All right? So, look, the movie The Exorcist, that was based on a real life true story. The real true story, it was a young boy that was possessed. Okay? These things are real. You got to start believing that and understanding it. It's scary, but it's what drives me. I love what's happening in this world. I love communicating all of this stuff to you guys and girls. And I don't want to lose anyone, so I do go a little slow, but I'm starting to get a little bit more direct and precise with what's happening. And I want you to understand that you can see how this is happening in the real world amongst us. You know how many people I see that talk to me about not believing what's happening in our world? And what they're talking about is the normal everyday things. Why is these political figures doing this, making this decision? Why are we very clearly right now carrying out nonsensical wars that don't benefit anyone? Why are all these nations around the world clearly doing things that are detrimental to the nation. Okay? They're literally trying to destroy our world. If you don't clearly understand that yet, start thinking a little more. Okay? We're living in a time where our governments, the people that so say protect us and work for us, are making decisions that will kill you and I and our children. And they're also living in this world. So when they're poisoning the water, when they're poisoning the air, when they're poisoning all of our food supplies, they're doing this to themselves as well. They're doing this to their own families, their own legacy, their own bloodlines. There's only one reason that can happen, because look, I'm telling you, humans don't operate like this. I've known this for a long time now. I said his name the other day. The first person that got me understanding this profound thing was Jordan Maxwell. There's nothing going to help you here, mankind, in this realm, with the knowledge we have. There's something way more powerful than us, way more powerful. And believe me, it's really upset with what's playing out. And I do believe 100% that it's coming back now, real soon, because we've got to the stage where we're living in Sodom and Gomorrah. We're living in times that are like the times of Noah, okay? And we're living in a time where they're merging man with machine, trying to put our human consciousness into machine. They're getting ready to completely control our system with AI and all the other digital systems around us and camera systems. They're poisoning us with our medications, into our medication and into everything around us. They're putting in technology that's so sophisticated, you wouldn't even believe that it exists. But it does, because this is the same type of technology. Listen to what I keep saying. I said this earlier. There's nothing new under the sun. All of this technology we've had before. We're not even seeing the technology that they're going to roll out that's going to be unbelievable. They had this same technology back in the beginning of time. It wasn't prehistoric and ancient back in time. They had massive, immense, super powerful technologies. We've just had it all hidden from us. So start piecing it all together. There's a lot more happening to us than meets the eye. Start putting together all of the pieces of the puzzle that I'm giving you. All right? And while we're doing this, is that Zales? That's my baby right there. She had a good time today. Enjoy yourself through this process, right? Don't be fearful. And I'm going to quickly leave you with... Sorry, such a close-up on me. I want to leave you with Peter 1:8, okay? And I've told you before, try and kick all your bad habits, guys. Stop drinking alcohol. Stop doing the recreational drugs. Okay, it's weakening you and letting in the dark forces, in fact. Okay, Peter, verse 1:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Peter, verse 1:8. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. All right? Believe it, folks. I'm giving you all the pieces of the puzzle so that you can stop believing the stupid BS lies that they want us to have, the BS knowledge they want us to have, which is keeping us trapped and not giving us the wisdom to understand what's going on. Okay? That's what they want. They've got us locked in, telling us all these fantasy things, spirit world, ghosts, demons, giants, superhero powers, right? They put it in front of our face. They teach it in school, the mythologies, the Greek gods, all right? They teach it to us, put it in our face, but they give it to us in fantasy, like it's just a story and it's not real. Okay, so wake up, smell the coffee, join the community. What I'm talking about is the real deal. And if you're going to get anywhere, you got to start understanding these things so that you correctly know how to think. And if you're thinking correctly, you'll be able to act correctly. So I think I'm forgetting another thing that I potentially wanted to say, but I've been rambling. I enjoy doing this stuff so much, and there's so many other matters that we're going to delve into that we've been taught, and you may think it's fantasy, but you got to start understanding that it's real. Okay? So take these pieces of information, use it. I'm going to get you more again real soon. I thank you guys and girls for being here with me. Appreciate it. Can you see Zilla? I don't know if you can see zeros. It's too dark for me. I think that's her right there. Zilla, Rex, or the Wake Up and Smell the Coffee crew. Thank you, you great people out there. Like, subscribe, keep sharing this, because this is the work. I'm going to leave you with the most profound part now. You heard me just talking about the devil. There's only one thing, whether you think it's a thing or a person, that is powerful enough to save us and to defeat the devil himself. And you know who that is, the Almighty Father. It's the only person that will save us from this. That's pretty profound once you understand that. And there is ways to connect with that and to be strengthened by that power and be completely, protected by that power, and nothing can touch you. So we're going to speak to you guys again very soon. Go out there, be kind, be loving, put a smile at somebody, just beam a smile at everybody and put a smile on someone else's face. Thank you so much. We'll catch you again on the next one.